In the land of the fair go, a nation where the judiciary is born of genocide, a country where a 50,000-year-old civilization whose laws respected family and community was displaced by the invading army of sheep. A land without treaty, without a soul, and without the knowledge gained. A land without family or community woven through its spirit. The wizards who inspired this evil now wearing dead sheep and horsehair on their heads, so as their heathen beliefs continue to empower them over the families who live in Oz. Wizards who profess to administer justice, but are merely the worshippers of false idols, and can now be seen by all as mere charlatans. These creatures whose totem is the sheep, the very creature that robbed the original peoples of their land, that was honoured by their laws above the very lives of the families who lived here, brought to this paradise to feed the needs of an industrial monster created on the other side of the planet. An industry that made cloth a technology based on the spinning wheel and opposed by their own people, the weavers known as Luddites. An industry that provided the raw material so as people could hide themselves behind the clothes they wore, could afford and set themselves above each other. An industry that brought waste and consumption to the planet. An industry so cruel it destroyed all opposition by burning the looms in India and cutting the thumbs from the weavers. An industry that built the slave trade so as to provide cotton to feed its avaricious greed. This race of thieves wearing clothes formed by the misery inflicted upon families and communities throughout the world had the gall to proclaim themselves civilized and above those who did not need them. They forced us off our land and made us wear their rags of pretense, rags that cover their nakedness and hide their spirit from the world. These honourable Gentiles profess their right to determine life and death of the civilians of the nation, who see themselves above accountability, who are guilty of misleading and deceptive conduct, unconscionable contact, and unfair empowerment in contracts. These heartless savages jail its Aboriginal people at 14 times the rate of others, and know the original peoples have a lifespan that is 25% less than that of the average population, yet continue to sentence them to their concentration camps as part of a 230-year-old war that can only end with a treaty. These wig-wearing demons legislated the worst of crimes upon family and community by allowing the forced removal of children from their families. These so-called self-serving legislators refuse to reinstate the respect for family and community in our laws, with a treaty only because of their greed and not their need for money and power. Of course, we live in a better world, where it costs $700,000 to process a person through the criminal justice system at a failure rate of 70%. There is a better way. We could spend that money on land revegetation and save at least 70% of these children from becoming victims to this soulless machine. It would, of course, divert public money that is currently being wasted on lawyers, judges, courts, jails, and crisis intervention back into the communities where we live. We are currently claiming prisoner of war status for our people who have been jailed under the Geneva Convention, and hope to at least get these young people a weekly Red Cross package.
You see, I've got to keep singing this song even today because the government still hasn't learned its lesson. They're still grabbing kids and taking them away, even today, as I speak. If they could just talk to families, extended family, and community and say, listen, what can we do about this situation? Instead of just rushing in, grabbing kids again. Because, you know, all the so-called problems that are affecting us, you know. People saying, if we're part of the problem, you know, but we're also very, you know, a big part of the solution. Ourselves. If people could only see that, took the children away. Stories right, your stories true. I would not tell lies to you like the promises you did not keep. How they fenced us in like sheep. You said to us, come take our hand. Set us up on mission landing. Told us to read, write and pray. And they took the children away, took the children away. Took those children away. Snatched from their mother's breast, said this was for the best. Took them away. The welfare and the policemen, when they said you gotta understand, we're gonna give to them what you can't give. Teach them how to really live. Teach them how to live, they say. Humiliated them instead. But they taught them that, and they taught them this. And others taught them, protect this, when they took them children away. Other children away. Breaking our mother's heart, tearing us all apart, took them away. One dark day on friendly him, when they come and didn't give a damn, till my mother cried, go get their dad. He came running, fighting men. Mother's tears were falling down, and my dad shaped up, and he stood his ground, and he said, you touch my kids, why you got to fight me, you know that. And they took us from our family, took us away. And they took us away. We were steps from our mother's bed, this for the best, took us away. Told us what to do and say. Well, they taught us all the white man's ways about, and they sped us up again. And they gave us gifts to ease the pain. Sent us off to the foster home. And as we grew up, well, we felt alone. How we were acting like, and we were feeling black. Well, one sweet day, the children came back, Children came back. Everybody, I came back.